welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing really well today, and of course we're all looking forward to Christmas, and with Christmas we need to send Christmas cards. So today I thought I would make a couple of Christmas cards with you. These are really quick to do, but they look so effective and they are so nice. I made some of these on Saturday. This is the one that I started off with, and this is 8x8 inch Christmas card. It's a pre-made card, and I have just added the Let It Snow and the snowflake to the front, and then on the inside I've put a little insert so it makes it a little bit more expensive looking, and I've just got the Cricut to write in there so you can just see that on there. So this is the big version, and that is what I have adapted. I'm going to show you another one because I like this one as well. This is silver with a rose gold insert. And then I've got this one, which is what we're going to make today, and this is the small version of this. This is just under 5 inches square, and again this is another pre-cut card, and it just makes it so much quicker and simpler to make because you're not worrying about score lines, where they are, if they're centered, all that sort of thing. All we're making is the cover in the blue card for on the outside of the actual pre-cut card, and then I've made again another little insert inside, and we've got the Cricut to write on that one in silver, and we just pop that in there so we've got somewhere to write as well. So this is the design I'm using today. This is actually adapted from a Cricut Access design. Again, I'll pop it on my profile for you, so if you want to use the same one you will be able to. So each card takes probably about 10 or 15 minutes to make, which for a handmade card is pretty good, and I think people will appreciate how much work has gone into them. Obviously it took me a lot longer because of filming it all and that, but whoops. So let's jump straight into Cricut Design Space and get our design sorted. So I'm just going to quickly run through the materials and supplies that you're going to need to make these cards. So I'm using a pearl finish, quite a thick poster board today. This is about 300 GSM. It's nice and sturdy. I've got some pre-cut cards. These are just under 5 inches square. Once they're folded they come with an envelope, and these worked out to be approximately 5p per card and envelope, which is really good for a card and an envelope, especially when it's saving you the time of making it. And then for one of my layers I'm just using a scrap piece of paper that I've used previously for a cake topper. And then tools wise, you are going to need a light grip mat. This one is very new. I've only opened it today. I've got my squeegee, my brayer, and you're going to need a fine point blade in your Cricut machine. This project I think you could probably do it on a Joy because of the size of it, but I think you'd have to lay your mat out differently to how I have. I haven't got a Joy, so I'm not 100% sure on that, but it might be worth trying it. So let's jump over to Design Space now and just have a quick look at how to set everything up. This is the design that I'm going to be using today. It's a Let It Snow square design, and it's actually been adapted from one of the projects in Cricut Design Space. So I will show you that project now because I've changed the size and the actual aspect of this card from Cricut Design Space to make it how I wanted it to be, because a lot of the cards that you'll find on here are all, you know, like 4x6 or 5x7, and I wanted to do square, and this is the card. So it is called the Let It Snow card. It's available in Cricut Access projects, so if you can't find it, just search for Christmas cards and just scroll through, or as per usual I'll put this as a project in my actual profile, so you'll be able to find that on there. Just go into the home page and search for me, Gemma Rich, and it'll come up with me on there, and it shows you all the different materials and stuff that you'll need for this. And with their actual design, they're using a full-on piece of card and scoring it and stuff, but I'm not doing that with mine because I've taken away the other piece of the card, which you'll see now. I'm just literally cutting out the design, and all I did was just sliced away the other half of the card and got rid of their scoring line as well. But if you want to make the whole card as one piece, you can also do that. Just use the actual template project in Cricut Access. But I've made this one to be 19 centimeters square, which is approximately 8 by 8 inches. So for these cards in the smaller version, I am using a pre-cut card again. I'll show you the bigger version. I've got one drying underneath my desk here. So this is what it looks like. This is the 8 by 8 version, and this is what we're going to be making, but just on a smaller scale. And I've made a little insert on the inside as well, so it looks a little bit more special. But this is basically what we're going to do, and I like to use a pre-made card because it's just a little bit simpler really. So this is the card that I'm going to use today. It comes with its envelope. These are about 4.5 inches ish in size when they're folded, somewhere about 11.5 12 centimeters in width square. So that's what I'm using. So what I need to do is go back to Cricut Design Space now, and I'm going to resize my design. So what we want to do first of all is make sure that our top layer, which is our snowflake, is actually fixed onto our bottom layer, which is our Let It Snow panel behind there. So what we want to do is go up to the top and click on select all, and we're just then going to click on group to get that together, so it's all going to be the same size. Let's just double check the measurements here. So we are going to go for 12.2 square centimetres. Let's go up to the top here and see what it does when we put in 12.2. Alright, so it's done it square, which is perfect. Okay, so now we can go over to make it. And I want to cut 2 of these out in one go because, of course, remember the idea is to make as many cards as we can as quickly as we possibly can. So I've got now one mat showing my backing layer, and then the other mat is showing my snowflakes. If I now go up to project copies and just increase my project copies to 2 and then click on apply, and that will come up on the screen just there. Alright, so let's now get our mat set up. So I am going to do the silver first. So let's pop this silver glitter down onto here. Just give it a little press with my hand, and then I'm just going to use my brayer to give it a really good press down. I'm going to click on continue, and then I'm going to choose glitter cardstock for this one because that is exactly what it is. I'm not changing my pressure, I'm just going to leave that on default, and then I'm going to pop it in my machine and cut those pieces out. That was really quick to cut. It's literally just cutting 2 small rectangles. So I'm just going to, oh, there we go, get them off that way because they're ready to come off. Just peel this back in the conventional way. There are my 2 pieces. Now I'm going to cut my squares. So let's pop this on here. Again, give it a good press down with your brayer. If you've got a brayer, use it all the time. If you haven't got one, get one. It is the best tool. You will not regret it. I absolutely love my brayer. Everything I use today will be linked down below for you if you want to have a look at them. And if I can't find a link to the actual item, I will just put a description of where I got it and how much it was and that sort of thing. So hope that helps you. Right, let me cut out the snowflake layer. Here is the finished cut of our snowflake fronts for our cards. So let's fold it over again, and I'm just going to peel back the excess first and just get rid of that. Okay, so there are the 2 pieces that we've cut. Let's just flip them out again. Quite a lot of the time you'll find that a lot of the pieces get left behind on the mat, and those will just be like the negative bits that we would weed out anyway, so that's okay. Don't worry too much about that if that happens. The only time you need to be careful is if something gets caught. This piece here, for instance, got caught on there, and if you just pull it you could find that you rip it quite easily, so just be mindful of that when you're peeling it back. Let's just get this off. If you've got a spatula tool, you might want to use that now, just to help you to get your cardstock off your mat. Just give it a little bit of a prise with it. So that is off, and then our mat looks a little bit like this, and I always think it's such a shame to waste all of these lovely bits that are cut out, but there's not really anything that we could do with them. So I'm just going to get a squeegee and I'm just going to scrape them all off my mat onto my desk, and then what I'll do is just sweep all of those into my bin. So what we need to do now is just double check that we've got all the bits out of the designs, and you can probably just use your fingers for this. You don't really need a weeding tool because it's not that tiny, and they will just really easily pop out. If you do have any stubborn bits that are stuck and are still attached, just use a craft knife or something similar to cut away and really just manually cut them out, which is fine to do. It doesn't happen too often, but sometimes the machine will just lose its pressure very, very slightly, and you'll end up with a little bit that's stuck. Okay, so there are our two pieces. Next I'm bringing in my pre-made cards and my two little silver pieces that I've already cut out. So this is what you're going to need next, okay? So let's just put one of each to the side because we only need to have the one on here at the moment. So what I'm going to do is fold along the pre-scored line of my card, give it a nice press down on the crease, and again grab a squeegee and just make sure it's nice and crisply folded along that line. Okay, so now I'm going to turn over my design and I'm going to get my glue bottle. This is just tacky glue, and then I've got my little glitter bar as well. And what I'm going to do now is just pop some glue all the way around the letter area of the card. That's why I love these precision bottles, because you can get right into all the tiny pieces and you don't need to worry too much about putting too much glue on. Okay. Then I'm just going to take my glitter piece and I'm just going to pop it over the top there. And you just want to make sure that all your lettering is covered up, so just make sure that you haven't got any gaps. If you have, just give it a slide along and press it down nicely, and then we can turn that over. And now you can see it says Let It Snow in silver. Then we've got our card here, so we'll just turn it back again. And we're going to just glue all the way around the rest of the card. I'm just going to use a bit of glue all around the top. Okay, so the glue is all applied on there. I don't know whether you can see it on the camera, but there it is. All the little dots of glue are on there. And now I'm just going to bring back my card and I'm going to pop it down on there and just gently press down with my hand. While the glue dries, I like to put it underneath my cutting mat here, and then it just keeps it nice and flat and makes sure that all the relevant pieces stay stuck together. So I'm just going to do that now. So that is under there, and I'll carry on working, and then once I've finished, that will be nicely dried and nice and flat. If you want to add an insert to your card, that's really simple to do as well. So we'll just go back onto the same project screen, and what we're going to do is just ungroup this particular part, and we're going to drag the Let It Snow out, and all I'm going to do is duplicate it, and then I'm going to pop that one back up there, and I am going to hide, oops, I'm going to hide the others, and so I've just got the one here. And then what I'm going to do is come down to contour, and then I'm going to click on hide all contours and click off it, and now I've got a nice blank square. Now I can get some text just by going over to text, and I can write Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I'm going to change the font, and I know which one I like. It's called Alyssa Stencil Script, and it's a really lovely one for the Cricut to draw with. So I am going to just shrink that, and then I'm going to use the alignment here and center my text, and then I'm going to make it a little bit small actually, and then I'm going to select everything just by dragging over, and then I'm going to come up to align and I'm going to select center. Okay, and then what I want to do is make sure that this is a pen drawing. So I'm going to click on the text, come up to the top to where it says basic cut and operation at the moment, and I'm going to click on the little drop down box, and then I'm going to come down to where it says draw, and I'm going to choose pen. Okay, so that is pen and it is in there. If I click on this little box here, it does give me an option to change the type of pen that I'm using, but I'm not too worried about doing that right now. So once that's done, we want to attach everything together so that our mat will mirror exactly what we've got on our screen. So just select everything again, and then come over to attach at the bottom. And then now on our layers panel, those two items are sitting together highlighted. So if we go through to make it now, our mat on our make it screen is going to look exactly the same as it does here. So let's click on make it. Okay, and that's perfect. So now what we can do is pop a pen into clamp A, and we can have it make ourselves a nice little insert, and then I'm just going to get it to write using a normal Cricut pen. I'm not going to use the gel pen for this one. So I'm going to click on continue, and I'm going to go into browse all materials, and I'm going to select laser copy paper. I don't know why my favourite has disappeared. I don't know why it's doing that. It's being odd. I have changed my laser copy paper settings though, so that it does 2 passes, because when it was doing 1 pass, it was only just about cutting through, and it wasn't quite the nice crisp cut that I'd like. And I did that just in the material settings here. If you'd like me to show you how to do that, please comment down below and I'll show you how to make your own custom material settings in another video. Alright, so I'm going to cut this out now, and then I'll come back to you once it's done. I have actually changed my mind about the pen I'm going to use. I'm going to use this Zebra gel pen. I bought these on Amazon, and they fit into the Cricut housing here on the machine without having to use an adapter or anything. So they are brilliant for this sort of thing. So I've got my mat set up just with a piece of copier paper on it there. I'm just going to pop this into the machine, and then I'm just going to press go, and the machine will start to draw what I've written on the screen in the nice font. I love watching the Cricut draw. It's just absolutely mesmerising watching it. I'm going to zoom in for you so that you can see, because it's just amazing. There we go, that has cut. You can see it's done 2 passes on this particular piece of laser copy paper like I have set it up to do, and it's cut perfectly well this time, because there was a little bit of drag around the edge when I weeded it out, so I'm pleased I've done that. So I'm going to flip it over again and just get this piece of paper off here. It's still bent a little bit, but I think that's just because it's such a thin piece of paper. It's super easy to just straighten it out anyway. So let me grab my card. So here is the card, and it's dried pretty flat at the moment. It's only been under there for about 10 minutes and it's dried lovely. So all I'm going to do now for the last step is just glue this little insert inside here. I guess what you could do as well, if you wanted to, is put something nice along this side, maybe like a bit of ribbon or something like that, just to finish it off really, I suppose. But I'm just going to pop a little wiggle of glue all the way down this side. Okay, and turn that over. Let's bring it back and just pop that in there. And this is the same size piece, of course, as we used for the front. Just press it down nicely and then just pop it back somewhere flat. If you haven't got one of these cutting mats, just put a couple of books on top of it for an hour or so, let it dry nicely, and then it's ready to go. So I'm going to make these for all of my friends, and they're all going to get a nice Let It Snow card this year. Thank you all for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, I'd love to see you again for the next one, so don't forget to subscribe. Take care, bye!